For more than 3 weeks, the Iranian regime has been trying to stamp out protests across the country. But the harder the government stamps, the more demonstrations continue to spread. The unrest was sparked by the death of Mahsa Amini. In September, she died in police custody days after being arrested for violating the country's strict dress code. Since then, at least 133 people have died in the government crackdown. For more, I want to bring in Trita Parsi. He's the executive vice president of the Quincy Institute for Responsible Statecraft. That's a D.C.-based think tank. Trita, these protests have been going on for 18 days. They keep intensifying. Is there a point where the regime will reach a point of no return, where crackdown is not an option, something has to change?
I fear, however, in fact, that we have not even begun to see the worst of the crackdown that this regime is capable of. The protests have been increasing. It's been actually very fascinating to see it. It's a different demographic, very young people that are out there. It is spreading, and it has been clamped down very hard. But compared to previous protest movements, we have not yet seen the worst. So even if there is some point in which there will be, as you described, the point of no return, I think it's pretty far away, and there might be a lot of more suffering before we reach that point.
In a recent article, you wrote, despite the inspiring courage of the protesters, there are few signs that they will, in the immediate future, succeed in overthrowing the regime. Why is that your belief? What's missing from this uprising?
One of the most important things that is missing, but it may not be a permanent thing, and leadership may emerge, but currently it lacks a clear leadership structure. It lacks the capacity to coordinate in the manner that is needed to bring down a regime like that of Iran. However, that doesn't mean that the protests may not manage to achieve a whole lot of other things, even in the immediate future. Already we're seeing that conservatives in Iran are starting to speak out and oppose what the government has done, both the massive violence against the protesters, but also starting to criticize the very strict implementation of the hijab. And that in itself is an achievement, certainly not sufficient for what the protesters are calling for. But I think it's important to make clear that even if the regime doesn't fall in the immediate term, there are still other things that the protesters may very well achieve.
Trita, you mentioned the lack of ability to coordinate the communication. Is that the result of the fact that the internet has essentially been turned off, or and if that could be gotten around, would that help, or is it larger than that?
It's larger than that, but that is a very important element. One of the important things for the protesters is to be able to both communicate with the outside world in terms of being able to send out the videos and show the world what is taking place. The repression is likely going to be much worse if they cannot share what is taking place and everything happens in dark. But also to be able to get inspiration. I think part of the reason why the protests last week were more intense than many people had expected, and I spoke to some people inside the country, they said they were inspired by the demonstrations that were taking place outside of the country. It gave them more motivation and courage and determination.
So in terms of things happening outside the country, the U.S. last month issued sanctions against Iran's so-called morality police over Mahsa Amini's death. But you've pointed out that sanctions may do more harm than good. Can you explain why you think that's the case?
Well, we have to distinguish between targeted sanctions against human rights violators, such as the ones that the Biden administration just imposed, which I think actually are very good, compared to the broad-based economic sanctions that is hitting the country as a whole, which is largely what the United States has pursued in the past. Those type of sanctions weaken the Iranian economy, and that's exactly what Trump's sanctions on Iran did. And the people that suffer the most are ordinary people, particularly poorer people, whereas the government always has an ability to get around these different things. So targeted sanctions at this point against the specific violators are a completely different matter than sanctions that would just completely further destroy the economy. Because what happens in these different cases is that it may become more likely that protests take place because people are just so frustrated, but it makes it also less likely that the protests succeed because people cannot sustain the protests for a long time precisely because of their economic situation.
All right, Trita Parsi in Washington, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me.